You're back in the Old West, the furry western outside rhino-headed guards. Keep an eye out to make sure you're not disturbed.
Ah, Slade. This is
Morning.
Joshua. Joshua, this is Slade.
Pleasure to meet you, Joshua.
You
Please,
too.
please describe Suede, because you've never met.
Stockier, older, kind of matching the photo down there. Looks like he's been in the dryer for about the last 25 years on just looking rough and tumble and tired.
Cool. Please describe McKay as he appears these days.
Yes, that's half the challenge. Where are we? I don't know, about 6 foot something, fairly thin, hawk-like nose, sometimes has a bit of a glazed expression over his face, a gormless expression over his face. Piercing eyes that sometimes glaze over.
Sometimes a bit of drool at the starts to come down, and then he looks very upset and cleans himself up.
This explains everything. All right. Good talk, guys. Thank you.
No. Tell him why you're like that. This is not. He's not normally like this. Bad things happen to him.
He's not normally an idiot. No, sit down, sit down.
Anyways, Mr. McKay, I just wanted to thank you for sharing your home and your cigars and your whiskey with me the last few weeks here.
No problems. The part of the reason I set this up was so that we had a base for our group. For those of us that have that connection.
Now, Slade, I know you have a lot of questions. You should probably ask him, and I'll try and help as
Yeah,
well.
well, we're going to ride it really rough. So why don't the two of you just get rid of your cards and listen to what I have to say?
Lovely.
I'm listening.
No. He got a Soul Survivor card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But by the way, whether you guys spend all session talking or if you want to go investigate anything, I've got all that shit ready. So whatever you want to fucking do, golden. It's a nice room too.
One second. All right. No, I've only got one question. Like I told you guys, I'm here to answer your questions. So you see, Joshua, you see all those little furry-headed critters you got out there? You know how they got a problem with their kids just running rampant all over the place, causing chaos?
Well, you haven't quite got it right. It's not
No?
the furry, it's not the beastkin whose kids are running riot. It's the MMO people who are demi-humans, a mix of humans, elves, gnomes, dwarves. The beastkin are the people of this world, this zone that we're in.
Ah, the other ones are the refugees.
Yes, the humans, the elves, the gnomes, etc. They're the refugees.
And the other ones are your slaves building your compound.
Except for 2 of the elves and their kids who are from this world.
Gotcha.
So basically have you been to Cyberpunk Hong Kong?
Oh yeah. Freddie took me out for a good night.
Right.
Downtown.
So
candy cane and lipstick off my cock.
So can you recall at all what time period you're from before coming into this existence?
Oh yeah. So where I was going with that one is, so your elves and gnomes and MMO people, their kids are the Ice Tour kids, right?
That's right.
You are like my kids running amok. I'm from way in the future, but I lived primarily most of my life in the 90s.
Okay.
In core Earth, not this.
Yeah.
Aren't you from Amber or something?
My father is. My father was Brand.
Okay. Interesting. Where is it? There's something I'd be curious to test out and see what results we get.
So Slade,
The Who's
Yes.
Your Daddy DNA testing kit.
did
we
you
have-
happen to read my latest update on the what's going on?
No, no. I'm not going to touch this little girly plastic thing until you make it manly. You said whatever I need, you can do it.
Would it help if I drew a skull on it or something?
All right,
I was
here you
gonna
go.
say,
I hold my arm out for him.
I was going to say
Okay,
it's not that.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna.
was more grey metal band anyway.
Nah.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's
just
not-
not manly enough for him, I'm afraid.
So, anyways, Joshua, yes, I am what you would consider an OD, original Dora.
Mhm.
I'm from a time before the Doras.
Yep.
And that is my greatest asset to you.
Sort of like Doc.
Oh, I'm older than him.
Yeah, but I mean, in regards that he'd been messing around with Amber stuff prior to this setup with us.
So, I'll take you back even further than that. I was the one that helped imprison Ghost Wheel originally.
Okay. So Ghost Wheel was imprisoned, was it?
Yes, in the Jewel of Judgment. Or Gem of Judgment.
Inside the jewel.
Yes.
Okay. And
And
why
then-
was Ghost Wheel imprisoned in the jewel?
Yeah.
Sorry. A little hard of hearing.
Sorry, why was Ghost Wheel imprisoned?
So he was a
in the
creation from Merlin
Yes.
who was part magical, part
Mhm.
technological,
Mhm.
and just an overall shitty creation that went amok and was enjoying eating the universe as I knew it and trying to turn it into an image of its own creation.
Mhm.
And so therefore it got out of hand. Merlin couldn't control it any longer. I came up with the idea. Several of the Amberites had to execute it because it was way beyond my ability at the time.
Yeah.
And they trapped it.
Okay.
But
How
the
did
universe was shaped differently then.
Okay. So how did it get out of the Jewel of Judgment then?
Supposedly, from what McKay tells me, historically and Rad confirmed, is a group of, I'll call them companions, decided to release it for some reason.
Okay.
But I imprisoned it in my youth, never told the story about it because, why share information? And
Heaven forbid.
they, for some reason, were tricked or coerced into releasing it.
Okay. And then tricked into stealing the Jewel of Judgment and taking it to it.
Correct.
Where is it? Okay. So from our understanding, we are grandchildren of Merlin.
I thought we were descendants of the unicorn.
Yes.
Well, and Merlin. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because they're all related.
Yes.
Fucking incest.
According to Dworkin, yeah. Merlin is our... Well, Merlin
Depends how
is...
you look at it, because technically, if Ghost Wheel is a creation of Merlin, and we're a creation of Ghost Wheel, that would make Merlin our grandfather.
Yes, I was thinking along those lines as well. But from a DNA perspective, we did some DNA testing on several of us. It came up that we shared a grandparent, not a parent. So yes, I was thinking very similar lines about the fact that Ghost Wheel is considers itself a child of Merlin.
Correct.
Excuse me. So yeah. So the thing that we don't know is that whether or not we have always been grandchildren of Merlin, or if we're clones of our original selves and have been genetically modified, or something along those lines. Somebody done something with it. So yeah.
Well, that's where Freddie thinks I might be able to help you out slightly historically and possibly to help put some pieces together for you.
Slade, what do you know about the unicorn, if anything?
Back in the day, the unicorn was just their symbol. I didn't know much about the creation story with that.
Okay.
And the serpent?
I thought that was a counterpart of the...
Yeah, what do you know about the serpent?
Just what we kind of uncovered, like possibly the eye of... What we uncovered the other day, like your eye somehow related to the eye of the serpent. You might have Corwin or random. If you want to jump to modern history or modern times, did you figure out if it's like Corwin or random in your eye trying to communicate?
I'm not sure who or what's in my eye, but a few days ago I had a very vivid vision of the unicorn running through a forest with its eye missing, blood dripping down, and King Random kind of leaning over me and saying that this was the worst atrocity in the history of Amber and that blood shall answer it. And it looked as if it was talking straight at me in this vision.
Okay.
Then I had another vision of a little bit later that day where I saw the unicorn's eye. It was this very pure, beautiful white eye. And then I saw the unicorn suck it with the eye missing. Again, blood dripping down its side. And the unicorn, then I was kind of looking through the unicorn's perspective, running through the forest in pain and rage. And that's when the vision ended. And then I had another kind of a voice in my head saying that hold on, what's that? It was it said again, it is the prophecy. I heard that in my head as well. So I'm not sure what this all means. I don't know what's in my head or in my eye.
Probably nothing.
Joshua, you had a theory about the mask, about the yin yang symbol.
And something that just came into my head is blood is the rose of mysterious union.
Now, something for you, McKay, here is this part is pure speculation. Wait.
Yep.
The second half of what I say is going to be speculation, okay?
Yep. A lot of this is speculation.
No. Back up. Freddie showed me a card of random. That is not the same random I used to know.
Oh,
Random
really?
and I used to pal around. It doesn't feel like him, doesn't really look like him, and I know they can change their appearance. I get that, but it doesn't just something doesn't jive. Okay.
Interesting.
So that's why I said it could possibly be. We must be getting too close. Universe hates Freddy.
That's right. It is.
I was going to give him a minute.
Yeah. Let him.
No problem. I'm working it into the game. Freddy falls off of his chair and begins twitching and clutching his eye.
Was he eating any soup?
Not yet.
All right.
He does like soup.
So let's give it a minute here.
Yeah. We shall check Freddy out.
No problem. While he's not here, yes, you have both noticed the figure in his eye that you'd seen before.
Maybe he needs to be refreshed.
Would you like to?
I splashed some cold water on his face.
Oh, that way. Yes.
I ain't touching that thing.
So you weren't
That's magic
involved. You weren't involved in the incidents of where Doc and others appropriated the Jewel of Judgment.
No, absolutely not. That was the opposite.
Okay.
Like I said, I came up with the original plan.
Yeah. I wasn't too
to
sure
imprison
if
it. No,
later on
no,
down the
no,
down
no,
the track
back,
for
no.
whatever reason.
In fact, I would have fought them all tooth and nail to the death in order to prevent it.
Yeah. Interesting, because so you're saying that random is not the random you're familiar with,
So
whereas that appears to be I believe that appears to be the random that Doc is familiar with.
don't know, but
No. As far as I'm understanding, as
okay.
in Doc's never made any mention. Oh, he's dropped from Roll20 as well.
Bad soup.
Doc has never mentioned that that random or any of the others there look different to who he dealt with.
Correct, but I predate. Like I said, I predate Doc.
Yeah.
So
No, I understand that. I'm just
exactly.
so
Random
it's like
and
we've
I
got
were
two
pals.
separate.
Correct.
Yes.
So here's what I'm thinking. Potentially, this is my speculation. Is, and I'm going to give you credit for this one. Is that perhaps random of today or even yesteryear is actually Merlin in disguise, because I understand Corwin is missing.
Yes.
And if this is not feeling like the original random, it could be him, or it could be also just created versions. These might not even be the real Amberites, if you will.
Yes,
This
that's
could be
something.
all generated.
Yes, that is something that I've wondered whether or not it's generated based on Doc's memories as opposed to actually existing.
Correct.
And it's all part of whatever it is that we're trapped in.
Correct.
But it is still interesting that that random that Doc is familiar with looks different to the random you are familiar with.
Correct.
So,
now, I have not yet been to Amber.
No, was going to be my question. Have you actually been there?
Yesteryear, yes. Today, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, in this current iteration of you.
No.
All right. Did Freddie show you any of the other Amberites?
No.
Okay.
The only other ones I was really familiar with was Blaze. He forged my shadow sword.
Mm-hmm.
There was some bitch that started with an F I didn't like. I don't remember her.
Fiona, Flora.
Any of them. Yeah, they're all
I
they're
hate
two
them
different.
all.
They're two different women. We've had some dealings with both Fiona and Flora. Fiona seems to be a bit more into investigating what's going on, whereas Flora, I can't remember if Flora took a shine to Freddie or to somebody else and was amused by him.
So from what I understand is, from what I gathered, if I remember right, is the Amberites like to kind of spat amongst themselves across the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Family quarrels. But I know at one point, at least from my history, was my father tried to take the throne. And that didn't end well. It took all of the Amberites to force him out. And they couldn't kill him or defeat him, but they forced him out. And so therefore I kind of had a little bit of a black stain on me, if you will.
Yep.
But, some of them still like me. So I got along best with Dworkin, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I used to bring him blueberry muffins down in his prison cell.
So, and do you know anything about the? Yeah, Freddie's still not back. You haven't gotten anything on Messenger from him, Logan?
Oh shit! Let me get back on Facebook because I turned it off during the.
Yeah, that might be worth checking in case he's trying.
Nothing. I suspect that his shit is messed up.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not him. It's just his internet.
Yeah, he's been having internet problems for the last couple days. It's just
Okay.
going on. If
Oh.
if he's not back by like 2:30, 2:40, then I'd probably get Tim in on that, but I don't know if he'd enjoy the sitting around contemplating the nature of the universe, which is something that should probably be done, but I don't know if he'd be into that.
Yes.
Was Casey around or no?
Haven't heard from him at all.
Okay, I didn't know if he popped in this morning.
No.
All right.
Casey would enjoy contemplating the
I
nature
think
of the
he would
universe.
very much enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I would think it would be a very interesting meeting of minds.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right. So, sorry, I was just.
no problem. So my speculation is that how to say this? Perhaps I understand Corwin is missing. Going on my own assumption that Random is gone also, that this is not the real Random, because that's what I feel. So I had a feeling that whoever's in the eye of Freddy might be also imprisoned, possibly in Logris or on the other side, trying to communicate to us.
So yeah. So when Freddy has walked the pattern that Doc, well, I believe it's the one that Doc created, because it's no longer located inside Ghost Wheel. It's located at a different location, which was surprising, assuming it's the same pattern. And that, as in, he had the object in his eye prior to walking the pattern, and he still had it after walking the pattern. So it did not get purged or destroyed by
If
him
it's-
walking the pattern.
I don't think it's physically in his eye.
Potentially, yeah. So you think someone's like projecting and
Yes.
using his eye as a way of trying to communicate or view.
Correct. Or it doesn't really exist and Freddy convinced us all it's there.
So just going back to what
Sure.
you're saying about that somebody might be pretending to be random. So when several of us have had meetings with not just random, but with several other of the family as such, as in random, your uncles and aunts,
Mhm.
random's brothers and sisters, like dinner, and also random's wife and son. And they seem to react to him as if he's random.
If that actually, I think, now I could be the crazy one, but
No.
the thing is I feel like if, let's say Ghost Wheel, the rest of my theory is what if Merlin is still out and about, and I'm going to get to this in a second here. Let's say he was still out and about in the real universe, causing a muck. He's the one that convinced companions to release Ghost Wheel, so Ghost Wheel could continue its original purpose. Because while Merlin at my time was the only one that walked Logris and Pattern, this could be all part of his plan. Because time is not really of the essence to these people.
No.
So it could be a lifetime, several lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes.
Yes.
But
because the other thing is, we could be in the, well, there's two, might be more than two options. So from talking to Doc about what happened when they stole the eye, is that somebody, not Doc, their intent was not to give it to Ghost Wheel, but to use it to either entrap or destroy Ghost Wheel. One of the people with them gave the jewel to Ghost Wheel, and his belief at the time was that then Ghost Wheel basically rewrote the universe.
Correct. That was his intention.
Yes, and that happened. So potentially that's why the random, is different to the random that exists, because this is the universe that Ghost Wheel created. And the reason why Doc thinks that is the same random is because of I don't know about you, but all our memories have been messed up. when we first came into existence in these realms, our memories were all spotty and messed up.
Mine was definitely messed up and spotty until I walked pattern.
Yeah.
So
Could you guys repeat what you just said for like the last 20, 30 seconds? Because even though I had my ad blocker off, apparently the computer's doesn't like you.
basically what we covered is that we believe that Ghost Wheel or Merlin is still out there in the real universe, controlling Ghost Wheel or working with Ghost Wheel, or Ghost Wheel is running rampant on his own and has recreated the universe, and we're inside of its image.
Cool.
We're inside of a separate universe, which is one of the beliefs. If a new pattern or something is created, that there's a separate universe.
That's a much nicer belief than some of the ones you were experimenting with. So that should make you feel
I've
better.
been experimenting with lots of different beliefs. Still doesn't differentiate some of the other beliefs I've been.
Now, we talked about also memories. So all everybody's memory was garbled. Mine was garbled a bit in the beginning, but it's been cleared up. And I think, yes, Doc is an old worlder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an older worlder.
Mm-hmm.
And my memory is really sharp. I remember a lot of details about a lot of things. So when I look at this universe that the Doras run around tickling, it's like looking at a Picasso. I see all the pieces, I get all the pieces, but I actually know where those pieces should fit. They're not where they should fit.
Mm.
So, with that being said, I got a question for you. From what I understand, you practice in the arts of Logos?
I've started practicing shape-shifting.
Okay. Have you walked Logos?
No, nor have I seen it, nor have I been to the courts of chaos.
Excellent. So I understand you were recently killed.
Yes.
Doing what?
Trying to create the pattern.
All right. I have a lot of respect for you, and I appreciate that. So.
And my essence was trapped inside the Jewel of Judgment, and Doc was able to put me into somebody else's body with that person's permission. So I don't quite look like the way I used to look, and I've inherited. Basically, I got reset when I got placed into that body, and I also inherited some skills that I did not previously have. Things like bong making and information about and stuff about MMOs and a couple other really useful skills.
Same thing with me, just so you know. This is not nearly my persona of past, if you will.
Yeah. Well, when we had first appeared in these worlds, we were diminished, though we were diminished versions of ourselves. But yes. A couple of the others have died. And from where our understanding, if a Dora dies and we're within a certain area, certain realms, we don't get reset completely. It's more the fact that we get slightly diminished, whereas due to the circumstances of what happened to me, the unique circumstances of what I was doing and what happened.
Well, from what the others have told me, you lost a considerable amount of power and ability.
Yes. Yes.
I feel your pain.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah.
So I'm probably the only one who can understand. So.
Currently, I'm currently focusing on. So with the thing about the shape shifting is that from memory, when Doc created the new pattern in Ghost Wheel, after I was destroyed, he learnt that ability, gained that ability.
Okay.
So and then he's been able to teach those of us that have walked the pattern, not necessarily the pattern that was created by Doc, but just like even the pattern in Amber, which several of us had walked. He had yes, exactly. Yes, he was able to teach us the base form of the shape shifting.
Okay, not a problem.
And I think I've been out of everyone. I think I've been able to explore it the furthest,
All right.
learn further along its avenues than others have so far, because I've been
So,
focusing on it
Doc
mainly
mentioned,
because I want to get my original form back.
gotcha. Told me something interesting here, and that is, here, give me 1 second. Let me just take a note on something to come back to.
Yeah, no, go. I know. I need to. I keep making notes, trying to keep things straight.
So, what Doc told me is that for some reason, somebody has to create a logris to create balance and harmony, the whole yin yang.
That's what we were told by Random. Or that's what Doc was told by Random.
That is what is sticking with me, because Random, while all of the Amberites, I think, come from Dworkin, which was originally from nothing, which let's just call it chaos. I don't know the whole backstory.
So there's a couple of versions of it. One is that Dworkin was a member of the Courts of Chaos. He took the Jewel of Judgment, which is also known as the Left Eye of the Serpent, and he created the Prime pattern using that. How the unicorn came into it, I'm not sure. Dworkin and the unicorn mated somehow, and probably because of the whole shape-shifting stuff, and the offspring was Oberon.
Right. Who was king, who disappeared,
Yeah,
and
he
then
was the king,
son,
and
stepped up the
yeah.
prince. The prince had the jewel at the time. Okay, so that's it. You're bringing back some memories.
Yeah, so basically Oberon was is your grandfather, our great grandfather or something.
Right.
But yes, he's father of all the, Corwin, Brand, Fiona, etc., etc., etc. Random.
So with that being said, here's something interesting. When I took and let's go back a half a step here. So originally the pattern I walked was in the basement of Amber. Let's just call it the dungeon.
Yes.
In the Castle Amber. Okay.
Yes,
and that's where Dworkin was imprisoned.
Yeah, so that's where the pattern was that I walked as well.
Good. When I walked it, it did not appear to be the same pattern I originally walked in my previous life.
Okay.
The pattern that I walked in my previous life was flawed, and you actually can choose two routes. You could walk the full version or the flawed version. Once you walk the full version, it was impossible for you to walk the Logris.
Okay.
If you walk the flawed version, you can then walk Logris.
Okay.
And that's where all my colleagues chose to do, because pussies. So the walking the full pattern was far more difficult. And it's way more difficult than what the new pattern is. So I don't know. To me, everything here seems like a copy. Even the patterns, everything. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that does anything for you or not, but I'm telling you that this is not original.
Yeah, or one of my speculations was that the whole thing of Amber and stuff is just another level that's been added on due to Doc's memories and us speculating about stuff relating to Amber at the time.
I don't think, let's just call it, let's say, Ghost Wheel, the big eye in the sky. I don't recall, but I don't think you could create pattern, and I don't think you could create Logris, because it wasn't birthed of pattern, if you will.
Yeah. So, and I think that's why Ghost Wheel needed somebody to do it.
Correct. Now, you're not gonna like this one. What if nobody ever creates? Let me back this up. Logris and Shadow is my personal nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
I would go after them with a vengeance, and I could explain that in other history. But what if nobody creates it and allows the universe to collapse?
This universe to
Absolutely.
collapse. That is a potential.
Give me shadow lore rolls.
Hang on a second. It's just. Thank God, get rid of that. I'll play skill 5. Shadow lore, shadow. Where are you? There we go.
Something about it. I was humping the unicorn makes me want to play this.
Okay. Sorry, I can't get the image of Dworkin, not shapeshift, fucking the shit out of the unicorn.
Well, there's nothing to say
If
that
you're
the
gonna do
unicorn.
it all the way, right?
Yeah,
Where do you think
Yeah,
Anal
couldn't-
Refresher came from?
there's
couldn't
nothing to
find a
say that
picture.
the unicorn couldn't shapeshift into a woman.
Yeah, but it's just more perverted this way.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a picture of Dworkin fucking the unicorn on the internet, so I see that as a serious gap for Rule 34.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Somebody someday will make it.
Let's do this. Ride unicorn. Let's ride. Sweet. Any objections to
Okay.
that, Logan?
No, that's fun.
Oh, it will be. Oh, please tell me I'm the first one with that skill. All right.
I keep writing it as Ghost Well, not Ghost Wheel.
Anyway,
It's
so
the
I covered the
third time I've done that.
pad. See, it's trying to stop you.
That's right.
Oh, speaking of stopping you,
Yes.
you encounter stopwatch.
Sorry.
Stopwatch. Have you ever heard? Does it ring any bells in your head?
No.
So, my original time, stopwatch seems like it was a lot like your MIBs that you have running around.
Okay.
In my universe, in the core Earth, there was time travel as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of my original big breaks was with TEC, Time Enforcement Commission. And I used to be a time traveler, go around helping correct things.
Mm-hmm.
Stopwatch went beyond my time. When I was born, it was at the farthest point in time that could be traveled. So I was like at the cutting edge. Like every day that really happened was really one more day that we could travel to.
Yeah.
Stopwatch went beyond that, and they were like the police of the core Earth or the universe that would help. It's like this. We would go back and try to thwart things from changing time, and they would go back and try to stop us from changing the things that change time. And on several occasions, on several missions, they would be there, I would be there, I'd hide from them, they would do something, I would try to fuck it up. It was just what we did.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like your Men in Black, they were kind of like the shepherds or guardians. What do your Men in Black do?
So they basically, if some sort of paradigm distortion, and by that, such as a helicopter coming into this world and gets spotted by the people, because it is a level of technology beyond the technology level of this place. Now, it only seems to be if Doras are doing it as well. So we've seen instances where dinosaurs with lasers have gone into a place that if we had turned up with dinosaurs with lasers, the MIB would turn up. When the dinosaurs with lasers turned up into this zone, as in not this zone, but the zone I'm talking about, Burlington, the MIB didn't turn up. They only turned up when we summoned them. So it seems to be, from what we can work out, it seems to be when Doras do something that the MIB react as some sort of antibody. And they seem to, first you get 2 appearing, then you'll get, and if they get killed, then you'll get 4 appearing. If they get killed, then 8, 16, 32, etc., etc., until they overwhelm what they're fighting. So
have you ever had a sit down with them?
Pardon?
Have you ever had a sit down with them?
No, some people have tried communicating with them, but they seem more interested in removing any anachronisms or anything.
And then do they just fuck off?
Yeah, pretty much. We haven't tried following them to see where they go. Some of the places we've encountered them, they just sort of go to the edge of. So Burlington, for example, is a fairly small zone.
Yes.
You've been to Burlington?
Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
It's a shame Freddie ruined it.
Yeah, I don't know if Freddie ruined it, but yes. But yeah, Burlington, for example, when they appear just basically at the edge of the barrier, or they disappear, they go back through the barrier. And also they will chase you through zones. So Doc and I, for example, I think it might have been with Freddie, we purposely got some MIBs to chase us, and we got them to follow us through several zones so we could use them to attack some people, knowing that they would multiply.
Excellent. Good use of tools.
Yeah. There's a phone in Burlington that you can use to summon them, and Doc has, after he created the pattern, he picked up the phone and they seemed to recognize him, and he asked them to fix another zone, which was what we referred to as red carpet, which was early 21st century, that the city of San Angeles had become Gotham due to a vampiric Batman, some Batman cosplayer that became a vampire. He then got possessed by an AI.
That sucks.
Yes, and then his influence spread and changed the city to Gotham. And then after that, some of the other AI that was primarily there, left and was removed by the person walking the pattern, who was the offspring of Alex Kinley and one of the other members of our group, and 2 other people that we'd interacted with.
So 4 people had one offspring.
2 offsprings that merged to one. There was a prophecy and all sorts of stuff.
Gotcha.
One of them was a replicant from Cyberpunk, from Night City, San Angeles, that we managed to get her across zones into another realm, and then making use of White's abilities and several other things, make her a real girl, a real boy as such. We turned her into a human.
My wife, she was an officer in her world, and she had a replicant for a partner.
I'm back. It fucked up again. I don't know why.
You didn't even know you were gone.
No.
Yay. It only fucked up briefly.
Okay. So yeah, anyway, so that world then had superheroes running around in it that were getting more and more powerful, and then Gotham got pretty much demolished by the superheroes and supervillains fighting. And also because of several things, Batman thought we were different members of he thought I was the Joker. He thought one of the other guys was the Riddler. He thought one of the other people was Harley Quinn, etc., etc. So we were wanted.
You should have dressed Freddy up as Robin to infiltrate.
Well, strange you should mention that. Doc Fulton was Robin for a while.
Oh, so he got infiltrated by Batman, did he?
And he worked with Batman before things started going sideways. But anyway, yeah, Doc picked up long story short, in Burlington, Doc picked up the phone there that normally summons to Mibs, spoke to him. They seemed to recognize him, and he told them to fix up that location, and they said okay. And we haven't been able to use Clem's to get. You're familiar with Clem's?
Yes.
The barbershop? Yeah. So we have not been I haven't tried recently. I don't know if anybody else has, but we weren't able to use Clem's to get back to that world. And we don't want to shadow walk there because we don't know what we might find.
Are you one of those guys like the artist skills who can make the trump cards?
Yes.
All right. Look.
I'm not very.
No. You don't have to be good. I'll pay you $1 if you could draw me a couple of characters of Doc as green tight Robin and rubber nipple Robin. Huh? Yeah, yes.
I'm actually not bad at painting. I'm just not very good at creating drums.
Would you like to paint those while you talk?
I can certainly give it a go.
That's the spirit. Would you like to use your new paint stuff to do it with?
I will attempt to activate it. I probably can't activate both because I suspect it'll make me fall unconscious.
Don't forget the willpower roll for here.
Yes, exactly. I'm just looking. Oh, maybe not. So I'm assuming the paintbrushes are probably 6 magic points, whereas the palette will be 4 magic points.
Logan goes wild looking for it. Let's see.
Can you put in that like Biff and Pow too for the?
Oh, wrong zone. Wait a second. Yeah, finally somebody bought some of the fucking magic items. I couldn't believe it. Let's see here. Those are okay. The paintbrushes are construction field. Those are 6, 3 if you fail, and the ever wet paint palette is conjuration. That's 4, 2 if you fail.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So please make a note of it. But yeah, the more expensive one will make your shit look better.
Yeah. Whereas, as far as we know, the paint palette just means I don't run out of paint.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got paint anyway, so it doesn't really matter about the palette.
No.
I might try the paint brushes. So I need to go to. I'm going to have to go to there, and then do that, and then do that, and then do that. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. I meant to click the tick box. And then we said it was construction. Construction there. No.
3 magic points later.
Yep.
Try again.
So you're not very good at painting, are you?
I'm quite good at painting. I'm just not very good at activating these magic. I'm just not very good at activating these magic items that I only bought recently and discovered that we need to activate them. Yes, back to the
I've
drum.
said this for hundreds of years. Magic does not exist.
Yes.
See?
So much. All right, I'll just do it the normal way. I've got the paint. I've got my paint kit, etc.
No problem. And he's sitting there. He goes, and just vomits all down his front. And you look at him.
I'm really not that hard of it. Actually, I am a paint critic. I am an art critic, so make it good, make it count.
All right, excuse me one moment. I'll go and get cleaned up.
I thought he was going to take the painting and press it to it and go, modern art.
It's like that, so it all comes together. I should look like Freddy.
Yes.
You got to do Freddy riding the unicorn. Ooh, Dworkin riding Freddy as a unicorn. There you go. I'll give you an extra buck tip for that one.
There you go, minus 30.
Okay, no problem. It looks like a working artist has painted the pictures that you have asked for. It's like a collage of different stuff, and possibly including Freddy being ridden dressed as a unicorn. So yeah, make a note.
All right.
A lovely
Art
new
collage. Awesome.
painting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Never known this could be useful.
As Black
I must be
Helmet
a friend.
here.
Have you seen this man?
Holy shit.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Anyway,
By the way,
where
you
were we?
guys let me know when you think enough time has passed that I should look and see who else is around, because yeah.
You
So,
go right ahead if you want, Logan. I'm good with that. But
all right. So,
yes.
who was it that took you to walk the pattern? As in, you've walked a pattern recently? Or you're talking about
Yes. It
previously?
was. Oh yeah. It was. No. I've done it previously several times.
Yeah, but I mean recently though. As in,
Recently, it was with Doc took me, and I think
Okay.
Freddie was there.
and that
Real
was
quick. Sorry, real quick. Before I do, TJ had contacted me first, so out of fairness, I
Sure.
should offer him first slot.
Mm.
Are you gonna warn him
Okay.
that we're just sitting around bullshitting?
Yeah, warn him that we're
Okay.
potentially not doing a module, that we're actually
Yeah.
so
Please continue. Sorry.
All right.
yeah. All right. So and they took you to Amber to do it.
No. Well, no. It was in the number one, number two, the spinning seesaw village.
You went to the village. All right. So you haven't been. So they haven't taken you to Amber yet.
I was expecting a musical. You know, I thought they were going to take me to the YMCA, but no.
All right. Unfortunately, I lost my trumps for Amber, so we cannot go there. And my trumps of several of the members of Amber. Otherwise, I'd be able to show you them and see if you recognize them.
Also, that brought up something you mentioned right before we got distracted with art.
Yes.
Clems. I duplicated and I stowed away one of the copies on how to make a Clems, the blueprints.
Yes, yes.
And so I've actually got a lot of the skills to pull that off.
Okay.
So keep the polls. We tried it. Yes, Logan.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So by Eva, you mean TJ and Chris?
Correct.
Okay.
TJ's got first crack, but if he goes, no, offer to Chris.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
So that takes care of the Clems were not around back in my day. That's a new invention.
The trumps, sorry.
Oh,
Were?
Clems were new.
Clems, yes. Clems,
Trumps were, trump cards were around in my day. I learned how to do them, and then I grew beyond needing them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That would be useful. But not yet. That would take a while, I suspect.
So.
Yes. All right.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I was going to say, did anybody teach you shapeshifting?
I don't want to learn that.
You don't want to learn that? All right.
No, it reminds me too much of Logos.
Okay.
But I appreciate the offer. That's just.
It's just another. I see it just as another tool
I'm
at our disposal.
I agree. But I'm a bit of an Amber purist / racist of my own creating. So.
Okay. Well, I suppose the thing to keep in mind is that the Amberites are all descendants from the Courts of Chaos.
I agree. Understood.
Yeah.
Just a path I don't want to take. And I'll give you a brief little history on that one.
Yeah.
So let's see if this makes sense. My original universe, picture Earth being in the middle. Okay.
Yes.
Little circle in the middle. And kind of like you could throw a pebble in a pond and you get all those little rings. Each ring would be a different shadow.
Yep.
Further you go one direction, closer to Amber you go. The more real / Arthurian it became. If you go in the other direction, the more chaotic / Logos it became, which was tied very tightly to the mythos.
Mm-hmm.
and lots of world saving needed to be done from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like the mythos is very strong here. I've seen a little of it, but it's not as strong.
Logan, what you ran us through yesterday, will you be rerunning that for Ralph potentially?
Trying to remember what I ran you on yesterday.
It involved mirrors.
Oh, that. Yes, it's possible.
All right. Well, I won't mention it then.
All right. But so there's some mythos presence, but not that strong.
Yeah. Have we encountered? So we've encountered Dark Young. We've encountered Mygo bases.
Mygo
we've
Wars. Yeah.
Yes, we've encountered the Tri Kingdoms, which I don't know if you got taken to. We found a Mygo base there.
Oh, here, because Freddie doesn't talk too much here. So the Mygo. Now we're cooking here. So when we did our brain surgery on Freddie, there was some Mygo tools that Doc used.
Mm-hmm.
I fought the Mygos on the dark side of the moon once. Now, in the Tri-Kingdoms, did Freddie tell you about the cameras that were up in the trees and things like that? He's got one of them.
I think he did, and also about the I'm trying to remember if he's mentioned it or not. He possibly has about the cameras.
He's got one.
But yeah, so with the Mygo base, we were able to summon creatures and have them attack locations.
Okay.
And view the locations. So
Maybe the Mygos are running the show.
Yeah. So have you ever read a book series in regard called Gore?
No.
No. So there seems to be some analogies, I should say, some similarities to that book series where you had these alien beings called the Priest Kings who looked over and controlled it. So
interesting.
In this instance, the Mygo were sort of like that. But yes, there was 4 different locations we could view. That's in my previous.
But that's
notebook.
okay. So it's just interesting. The Mygo are in multiple locations. Maybe we're just a bunch of brains on a shelf, a little too close together.
Well, that was one of my theories. Is that exactly that? And this is a simulation to keep us sane.
It's not working.